big applause for Moritz.
I tell you something, I love boxes. It's an old trick. If you enter the stage with a box, you grab the attention of everyone, especially if you're entering a metro stage and you accidentally took the box of a competitor. So what's in it today? I'm the founder of Gastrozentrale. We have, to make it short, a B2B e-commerce marketplace for hospitality and restaurant supply products. I have the honor of being invited to have a keynote speech. And since this keynote speech is keeping you away from having your big time on stage, what could be more logical than choosing the topic, bridging the gap. So bridging the gap, what do I mean by this? If you have a look at the Webster Dictionary, it tells you three things. It's a Webster dictionary for kids, actually, I use. I will tell you three things. A gap is a space between two people or things. It's a hole or space where something is missing, or simply a missing part. So what's actually missing? Taking the example, you go hiking with your friends, and suddenly, close to your destination, appears the river Yukon. And you start arguing, you cannot read the map. Yes, I can read the map. Last time I was there was no river. So you recognize you have a problem, and you have to solve it. And you say, okay, let's build a bridge, but I don't know how to build a bridge. I will call my friends from McKinsey. They will tell me how to build a bridge. Actually, they haven't done it yet before, but they have a book of best practices, so they theoretically know how to do it. Okay, and then you have some kind of team building. You say, okay, now we know how to build a bridge, but we don't have a team or we don't have the resources. Okay, let's form a simple startup. You, Annika, and Tom, you go build a team and get some material while I am supervising the process and watch out that the river is still there when you come back. Okay, so you start building a bridge, and then you have to evaluate this whole thing. And you say, Karl and Klößchen, you are the most chubby guy on stage. You go over the bridge first, and we can see if it carries you. So innovation, this is what you created. You created a simple circle of innovation. But this innovation is not the product, it's not the bridge itself, it's a process. The good thing is, while building a startup, you will meet this kind of innovation circle in many, many occasions. The bad thing is, it's mostly not that clear. So you don't know the solution, it's not a bridge, it may be something else. And in many, many cases, you don't know the problem itself. So it's not like, bridging the gap is not like bridging two concrete events. It's more like managing an area of conflict. Let's have a look at our industry. What are common areas of conflict? If I go shopping today, do I really need the things I'm buying, or is it more I'm searching for a certain shopping experience? If I sell a customer an ice dispenser, is he buying the product, or am I selling a solution for his problems? Or, when I visit a restaurant, is it really about visiting a locality, or is it about spending time? What's the parameter that count for you? Or, how do I match with global sourcing when people want it has to be regional? Or, how can I cope with sustainability when people say, I want this product, I want it in 20 minutes, and I don't give a damn if you spend 10 liters of gasoline, I want it in 20 minutes. So, even when we see it between corporates and startups, no one would have expected that there's a certain area of conflict. I will tell you a secret, how some corporates are solving this startup problem, some of them. It's knocking on the door, and there comes a guy from the management and said, outside there's this thing called startup, and it won't go away by itself. What should we do? And the CEO said, okay, turn your cap. From now on, you're all the global VP of digitalization, and you go around and get this problem fixed, okay? So, after half a year and about 2,000 meetings, the guy comes back and he said, boss, I've got the solution. I travel around the globe, I depict this problem on PowerPoint, And I discovered on PowerPoint that the only thing that separates corporates from startups is an arrow. So I took 200,000 euros and I built this prototype. With this magic arrow, we can keep a distance to the startups until they go away by themselves. This is really sometimes going on in the industry. Again, this is innovation. It's not a product. It's not a way, it's not a destination. It's more a method of moving forward. Why is that so important? Because the markets we are facing in this industry, they got a huge complexity over the last 15 years. You know, I'm a pretty bad graphical designer. This looks like Keith Haring having the measles, but it should depict the future. Okay, this is the past. What we can see? We see, we see, first of all, I saw, okay, there are more participants, and the borders have somehow disappeared. So these participants are interacting in an erratic way. I can't predict it. They're constantly regrouping, they're disappearing, they're expanding somewhere, sometimes coming back. So this whole process is really hard to predict. And if this whole process was not complex enough, the customers start to move exactly the opposite way. So they say, oh, the world is getting so diverse, I want to be a member of a complete homogeneous big community. Or they say, you know, I work in marketing and I'm so lazy to peel my oranges. When I'm in the supermarket, I buy convenience food, I buy peeled oranges, but on the weekend I pay 200 euros for a course to knit my sweaters by myself, and I want to do everything by myself. Or they say, you know, I'm such a super individual. I buy my coffee from a special shop. My coffee comes from planet Mars, traveling 1 million kilometers through the universe, but when I enter a restaurant, everything should be local, so show me the kitchen, I want living pigs in the kitchen. So what do you do with this paradoxon? What do you do if a forecaster tells you, outside the world, it's getting complex, it's a tornado, don't leave the building, the best thing is to do nothing and wait until the tornado is over? What would you do? I tell you what I would do. I would start with a rich and healthy breakfast. I tell you why. There's so much bullshit in the startup scene. You know, you have VCs telling you have to disrupt the global industry within 3 weeks. You have to be super young, yet 40 years of professional experience. The product has to be completely new, yet tested for years. Yeah, and you sit around your kitchen table, you said, I've developed this breakfast cereal. It's the best breakfast cereal in the world, and everybody should try it. You know, just go out and do it. Remember, there was someone building an empire by just adding milk to it. I mean, how ingenious is that? So, talking about innovation, it's all about simplification for the customer. Either a good innovation will lever your options, like if you're building prostheses or something like that, or it will reduce complexity, like Boca Tiger is working. And if you have a really great innovation, it will do both, like Uber or a big data solution. It levers your opportunities and it's reducing your complexity. So if you have a great idea, if you found something here, just go ahead and try. I would recommend you to check your business model with 10 simple questions that I have experienced before. Question number 1 is, am I solving a relevant problem? Nearly every week I get calls by startups saying, okay, we developed the app Freezer, and with the app Freezer you can look internationally if the lights in your freezer are on or off. Can you sell this product on your marketplace? They're solving a problem, but that's not solving a relevant problem. And the second question is linked to that. Are customers willing to pay? Last week I got a call by a young hospitality startup saying, we have developed this prototype and we have 50 customers. Yeah. And do the customers pay? No, we gave it away for free. So this is really a problem. You have to make people pay because someday you have to earn money with it in a certain amount. And this is linked to the third question. Is your market really big enough? Today I've seen some good ideas, but the market is simply not big enough. So let's go through the other questions. Do I have the right resources to execute fast? Do I have a significant cost regression? Can I automate at least some of the processes? Do I know at least one efficient marketing channel? Can I force customers to stick to my product? Can I look at others to offer the same or a better solution? And if not, what is the asset potential buyers will actually pay for? Is it the customer stock or is it the best technical solution? If you can answer 5 of these questions with yes, I would say just go on and try it. But before you try it, please let me clear with a certain error. I'm always confronted it. You know, all of the industries, they're talking about digital transformation. Mobility, hospitality, everybody is talking about digital transformation, and everyone is just looking at the word digital, and no one is looking at the word transformation. Let me explain you the difference. It took the zipper, the simple zipper, 30 years to enter the fashion market. To digitalize something, you just need the support of some coders. To really transform an industry, you need the support of a bunch of stakeholders. And this gets really tricky sometimes. Think of Uber. They have a great digital product. They do hard with governmental regulation. So before letting you go and having a great time on stage, I will leave you with 10 advice from my modest startup experience. The first thing is be aware and become an expert. I mean really an industry expert, not I'm a coder so I know everything about digitality. Go in the market and talk to your customer. It's really a German thing. They're developing everything in a closet and no one is actually talking to the customer. So go out and grab as much information as you can. Concretize as much as you can. I see some pitches today where they say, somehow we have a feedback loop and we gain some information. Somehow I will find a marketing channel and everything gets sold. Delete that somehow. Make it as concrete as possible and collect as much hard data you can find. Then target a customer chip which is big enough. I would guess of the 5,000 Berlin startups, 80% are heading for this, cool young innovators wearing expensive sneakers. I work in a gallery. I have such a super taste of music. And no one is asking, do they have the budget to pay for all these products we are offering them? No, they don't. Sometimes you're right offering your product to the late majority, to the haggards, to B2B. Please don't go out and choose always the same customer group. Okay. Expect that problems themselves are migrating. What do I mean? For example, you have delivered a hospitality app for free wireless LAN, and then one day the government decides to delete the Störerhaftung. What do you mean? The whole market is gone away. So expect that often problems are migrating to yourself. Okay, so you offer a solution for the customer, and the customer says, "Thank you for the solution. Now I can buy less in a lower frequency." So expect the problems to migrate. Never underestimate sales. It's a surprise. Everybody says to me, "Okay, I developed this Tinder app for forced marriage, and I know this guy from Vodafone. He was a key account. We sell all the product all over the world." Sales is think of the transformation thing. It's one of the most difficult things to have really a customer base. Don't think that cost aggression will come automatically. We are now with Gastrozentrale hitting our first million of revenues, and we did that with investing 20,000 euros in marketing. The next million will cost us probably 200,000 euros. So don't expect, costs like automatically shrinking somehow, margin costs. I studied management. Don't team up with people just because they're friends, okay? You're not founding a band. It's important you spend a lot of time together. You should get along well. But if you need a marketing manager, don't be like, "Oh, I have this cousin and he always wanted to be in marketing." Don't do that, okay? Okay? So another thing is don't incorporate too early. What do I mean? I can remember when I was a kid, we went to the soccer court, and we tried to soccer, and what happens? 2 or 3 boys appear with the same tricot, Lothar Matthäus. I'm Lothar Matthäus. No, I'm Lothar Matthäus. No, I'm Lothar Matthäus. We're fighting about titles before we have really ended the game. Okay? If you have a press release like, "Oh, this investor is the ideal partner for us, and it helps us, internalization, blah-de-blah," do that with the outside of a company. Don't start to communicate like this in the inside because you get lost. And talking about get lost, I think every one of you will face moments, me included, we are lying in bed and just asking, "Okay, the market is so difficult, customers don't like us, what do I do? Am I doing right? Should I stop this whole thing?" And I have a very simple answer to that. As long, when you do this what you do is levering your options. Don't stop it. When you're gaining industry experience, don't stop. When you're gaining some kind of context, don't stop. It might not bridge the gap between you and the life of a startup millionaire, but it might bridge the gap between you and a fallback solution. Or it might bridge the gap between you and having a great time on stage. So I wish you all good luck and thank you for your attention.